The blue log truck sits in the middle of a mountain road, with nowhere to go. Behind it, a wall of brown mud, rocks, and broken trees covers the road from cliff face to cliff edge, 6 meters high, impassable. Ahead, 2 kilometers further up the mountain, a second wall. Same mud, same rocks, same dead end. The driver stands on the road beside his truck, rain jacket soaked, staring at the landslide behind him. His 2 workers sit in the cab with the doors open, boots dangling above the mud. The engine is off. The fuel gauge reads a quarter tank. The radio signal is weak, 1 bar. The nearest town is 40 kilometers back down the mountain, on the other side of the first landslide. There is no phone signal, no passing traffic, no way out. The 3 men, 1 loaded log truck, and 2 kilometers of mountain road between 2 walls of earth. 6 hours earlier. A grey, wet morning in the highland forest. The blue log truck sits at a clearing where freshly cut pine timber lies stacked in rows. The truck is a heavy 6-wheeler with a glossy blue cab, chrome exhaust stacks, and steel log stakes on both sides. Behind it, a yellow grapple crane loads the last log onto the stack with a thud that shakes the truck. A worker on the ground secures the load with 4 steel cables and ratchet binders. 22 tons of timber. The log stack rises 2 meters above the cab roof, bark wet from the rain. The route down is 38 kilometers of single-lane dirt road, muddy curves, steep grades, and blind corners carved into the mountainside. No guardrails. The drop on the left side, 50 to 200 meters into a fog-filled river valley. The driver starts the engine. His 2 workers climb in. One carries a thermos of coffee, the other a bag of sandwiches. 7:15 in the morning. If everything goes well, they reach the lumber mill by noon. The first hour goes smoothly. The truck crawls at 10 kilometers per hour. The driver works the brakes on every descent, 22 tons pushing from behind. Mud sprays from the rear tires. Rain drums on the cab roof. At 8:40, the road levels out along a ridge section. The driver relaxes slightly. Visibility improves. Through the fog below, the river valley is briefly visible, a silver thread between dark green mountains. The workers drink coffee. The wipers sweep back and forth. Then, a deep rumble behind them. Not thunder, deeper. The driver checks his mirror. A section of hillside above the road they just passed is moving. Brown earth, rocks, and pine trees slide downward, then accelerate. The mass hits the road like a freight train. Mud buries the surface under 6 meters of earth. Broken trees stick out at angles. The driver stops the truck. All 3 men look through the rear window. The road behind them is gone. One worker walks back 50 meters to the edge of the landslide. Mud still settling, rocks trickling down its face. He walks back. His face says everything. The driver puts the truck in gear and continues forward. Keep going, reach the next section, get to the valley. But at kilometer 22, the road curves around a ridge and he sees it. The second landslide. Older, maybe an hour. 40 meters of brown clay, trees, and boulders. No way through, no way around. He turns off the engine. Rain on the roof, fog in the valley. 2 kilometers of road, sealed at both ends. The driver climbs to a high point and gets 1 bar of cell signal. He dials the dispatcher. The call drops twice. On the 3rd try, 40 seconds. Enough to say, trapped, kilometer 22, 2 landslides, need help. The lumber company calls the regional rescue coordination. By 10 in the morning, a plan is forming. A yellow bulldozer is being loaded onto a lowboy trailer at the construction depot in the valley town. The bulldozer will drive up the mountain from the far side, the opposite direction, and dig through the second landslide to reach the trapped men. Estimated time, 2 days. The landslide is 40 meters wide and 6 meters deep. The bulldozer can move roughly 20 cubic meters per hour, but the men need supplies now. The truck's fuel will run out by evening. They need the engine for heat. Temperatures drop below freezing at this altitude after dark, and they have food for 1 meal. At noon, a green helicopter appears above the ridge. It circles once, spots the blue truck between the 2 brown landslide scars. No flat landing zone, road too narrow, trees too close. The pilot holds a hover 3 meters above the surface. Rotor wash flattens the grass and blows rain sideways. A crew member pushes 2 packages out on a rope, a red fuel canister with 20 liters of diesel and a green waterproof bag with food, water, a thermal blanket, and a radio battery. A worker runs out, unhooks the rope, and waves. The helicopter climbs away. 20 liters buys 12 hours of idling heat. The workers open the food in the warm cab. Sandwiches, canned soup, chocolate. They heat the soup on the engine block. Night falls at 5:30, -2 degrees. The 3 men sleep in the cab, engine running, windows fogged. Outside, frost covers the mud. Day 2. The rear landslide has grown overnight. Fresh slump added 2 meters of debris. The driver walks the 2-kilometer stretch, checking for cracks. The hillside above looks heavy with water. On the far side, the yellow bulldozer has arrived. Its driver can see the log truck's cab over the mud pile. The blade drops and pushes into the landslide. Brown mud curls over and spills to the sides. Behind the bulldozer, a white fuel tanker waits. The bulldozer burns fuel fast at full power. The bulldozer works through day and night under its own headlights. By evening of day 2, a narrow channel 15 meters into the 40-meter slide. Mud cakes the tracks, the blade, the cab. The operator clears debris from the undercarriage with a shovel every 2 hours. The tanker refills the bulldozer's tank twice. Day 3, dawn. The bulldozer pushes through the last 5 meters. The blade breaks through to clear road. The operator sees the blue log truck 50 meters ahead. He flashes his headlights. The driver flashes back. 2 more hours widening the channel, pushing mud to the cliff edge, creating a single lane with 3-meter walls of wet brown earth on each side. The bulldozer reverses out and parks, caked in mud from blade to exhaust. Its operator steps out, mud falling from his boots. The log truck driver starts his engine. Diesel roars after 2 days of idling. He rolls into the narrow channel. The logs scrape the mud walls on both sides, leaving bark marks in the clay. The truck emerges on the other side. The fuel tanker waits with a full hose. He refuels while the workers stand on solid ground for the first time in 50 hours. The convoy forms for the descent. Fuel tanker leads. Blue log truck follows, still carrying its 22 tons. The descent takes 4 hours. Nobody speaks much. Wipers sweep. Brakes hiss. At 3 in the afternoon, the blue log truck rolls into the lumber mill yard. The timber is still secured. 4 cables, 4 binders. The driver parks, steps out. His boots hit dry concrete for the first time in 3 days. The mill foreman walks over with a clipboard. The driver looks at him, looks at the truck, looks at the mountain. 22 tons of pine, 38 kilometers, 2 landslides, 3 days. Delivered.